What is spike testing? Generally, this is the most practical use case in any application that the traffic is not usually streamlined. Cannot expect a consumer will be keep on using 100 users, whatever performance type of performance testing what we are trying to do. If you think about it, performance testing, load, stress, or whatever we do, that is in a way what we are trying to achieve is handling the spike. What a spike means is the increase or sudden decrease of the load. So if the same example is Amazon's Black Friday, it's not always like the entire day that will be a big number of users will be accessing. Of course, that is more than normal number of users. But what differs is the spike is very specific periods there will be big spikes, which is like, let's say after 6 p.m. after work there will be a sudden spike, and after lunchtime or during the lunchtime there will be a spike of people purchasing something online. At the time of open, the Black Friday offer opens, at that time there will be a spike. Before closing there will be a spike. But there are other times, say 1000 users per second is usual, then the spike will be like 10,000 or 100,000 users trying to access. Throughout the day, it's more than what is normal, from 1000 to 10,000. But in these specific periods of high traffic time, there will be sudden spikes of bigger number of users and stuff. So how do you test it? How do you test is exactly simulate the scenario. So you take a 30 minutes time frame and you keep running that for, let's say, we're talking about it in the next about volume testing and capacity testing. So this is something similar. When you are doing a 1 hour long, 30 minutes long performance induced testing, you can try for at least 1 or 2 minutes in the middle or few seconds. Give a bigger spike on number of requests what you are sending to the endpoints or web applications or whatever testing, right? So when you are doing that, what you get is you might see a different level of problems at that spike areas compared to other performance and volume testing. That's exactly what we are trying to figure out. Spike, how the system handles it, how many errors. You expect it, right? So when there is a higher load, the errors are not handled, the memory cannot handle them. Sometimes services need to be auto scaled to bigger level to handle these requests. So there will be a different warm up time will be happening at that time. So when you are doing that, you have to understand what happens when the spike happens on your system. That's exactly the focus on spike testing. In theory, it's part of the performance test, but this is what I would recommend for a general use case. What you have to test is figure out a time frame for your performance test, and within the performance test you do a small percentage, 1 or 2% time dedicatedly set out for spike. So spike, as you can imagine, you have to check both type of spikes. One, sudden increase in load and sudden decrease in load. If you are sending 100 requests per second for 10 minutes or something, when you're trying to do 1000 requests to identify the increased number of usage, you also need to try for in the middle for 1 minute or 2 minutes there is 0 requests. What will happen? Expect any responses or you don't expect any errors. But after this 1 minute of 0 response, and then you try with 100 requests per second, then you will be seeing a different level of errors at that time. So to average it out, how you find out these different spikes, that is what you have to focus on in spike testing.